Coming to you live from the City of Angels, Los Angeles, California, and all across the world, psychic, medium, and energetic healer Sheena Metal brings you messages from Spirit, only on the Intuitive Network.
Hi, I'm Sheena Metal, and welcome to Messages from Spirit, only on the Intuitive Network. I'm a psychic medium. I'm an energetic healer. I'm an interfaith minister. And here's what happens every week on the show. I'm a real psychic. I talk to real people. Everybody you're going to see on the show today is a real person. They're asking me real questions. I'm getting real answers from Spirit, from Source, from God, from Goddess, great spirit, higher power, universe, whatever you want to call your higher power. I call them Spirit. And then we work to get them some real answers and some real healing. And that's what we do every week. It's a pleasure always to be here on the Intuitive Network. Every Wednesday at 2 o'clock Pacific time, we're here. And I come to you live from my home in Southern California. And the people that you will see on the show every week come from all across the country and soon from all across the world. We're working out little time zone differences, and then it'll be from all across the world. I like to start the show out by talking about something that I think is relevant that's going on in the world right now that needs to be discussed. And this week, the message that I got from Spirit is that it's all about not everybody in the world. In a perfect world, everybody would treat you the way that you treat them. But we don't live in a perfect world. So some people are more extra self-focused, indulgently myopic, narcissistic. And it's our responsibility, unfortunately, to set the boundaries for what is okay and not okay for us. We decide how we let other people treat us. Now, do we control how people treat us and how they act? Absolutely not. But we are in control of how we respond to that, how we react to that, and how we allow others to treat us moving forward after they've already treated us a certain way. And I saw a really interesting meme on social media that said, basically that you have to be careful how much abuse or negativity you take from someone, because you're training them how to treat you in the future. And that's very much true. When you are allowing somebody to be cold, calculating, to hurt you, to hit you, to call you names, to treat you like you're less than, over and over and over again, you're training them how to treat you. And what you're telling them is, it's perfectly okay to treat me terribly. It's perfectly okay to not treat me with respect, because I will come back again and again and again, and I will take it again and again and again. So please come back and continue to treat me that way. Now, there are wonderful people in your life that you don't have to train. There are people that just know how to love you, you know how to love them, and it's a beautiful thing. But there are those who need you to train them a little bit how you need to be treated. And that means that you don't indulge the behaviors. You don't keep going back after the insults. You don't allow the put downs and the cut downs and the takedowns to happen over and over again while you say nothing about it. You assert yourself and you say, hey, I love you, but here's what I'll accept and here's what I won't accept. That's what we have to do. We have to sometimes tell people where our boundaries are, where our borders are, and train people how to treat us. And none of us want to live in the world where we have to do that. But unfortunately, this is the world in which we live. And so we have to. So I want you to think about that going forward next week. And if you want to send me some feedback about that, my number is 818-437-0886. And of course, that's the number you use if you'd like to be a guest on the show, 818-437-0886. That's also the number for feedback. If you want to text me some feedback, or if you're out of the country and you want to use WhatsApp or you want to email me, you can find all that out at my website, which is sheenametalspiritual.com. But I would love to know what you think about this. How do you feel about this? And have you had to, in your life, train somebody how to be somebody that you love? It's a shame when you have to do that, but sometimes you have to do that. And that's life, as they say. So with that, let's take a message from Spirit. Keep that in mind. And we're going to take a message from Spirit. And I'm excited. Hi.
Hi. I'm
It's
so
great.
excited.
I'm so excited to have you here.
Finally, yes. My name's Marlena. I'm from Pleasanton, California.
Beautiful.
And I'm like fighting between questions here, trying to be intuitive.
There's so many questions to ask.
So many questions. So I guess my question would be, do you see that what I call my desert period at this time of healing that I've had between
Sure.
from what your opening was, will I actually maybe find love again?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. So you've dealt with just what I talked about, right? You have dealt with somebody who did not treat you the way that you needed to be treated, and you eventually, thankfully, put your foot down, and that situation ended. And then what comes with that, right, is like the vast desert. There's just a tumbleweed.
Yes.
Because you are trying to heal. Sometimes Spirit will take away everything and force you to heal. And that's what you're going through right now. Because if you'd gotten right into something else right afterwards, Marlena, there's a chance it would have been the same personality type. So Spirit is saying heal until the end of the year, and next year, new love.
That's exciting. Okay.
Next year, there'll be an oasis in the desert. But
in
right
my
now,
own person.
just keep healing you and keep loving you and keep believing in you.
Definitely. I will.
Does that make sense?
That makes a lot of sense. Yeah. And I think it kind of ties into my second question, which is with my health. And I think that relationship that I escaped from affected my health.
Absolutely.
It caused
we know we have a physiological immune system, right? But we also have an emotional immune system and a spiritual immune system. And when one is affected, the others are affected. So if you're spiritually and emotionally drained or damaged, Marlena, it's totally normal that your physical being will take a hit. Your body, as weak as it seems, is actually the toughest. It holds out the longest. But a lot of health problems do come from abuse, emotional and spiritual abuse. And also a lot of empathic people are subject to really getting hit hard in certain chakral areas, migraines, gastrointestinal stuff, irregular heartbeat. These are some of the things that hit really hard with empathic people, throat issues. And so, yeah, you need to heal from all of that and really become stronger so that you will attract that healthy, strong energy to you.
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
You bet. Take care of you, sweetheart. What a joy to have you here.
Thank you
for
so
being
much.
first. I always
Bye-bye, my friend.
Bye, honey. I always thank the person that goes first, because it's always hard to go first, right? It's you got to be out there. You haven't heard the other people. Everybody else is in the green room and they're waiting. If you want to be a guest on the show like Marlena was, 818-437-0886. Send me a text message. We're booking about 6 weeks ahead, but we'll get you in sometime in September. And I can't wait. I'm so excited to have you all here. If you're international outside of the US, I do have WhatsApp, which is 1-818-437-0886. Hit me up there. So for international people, we got it. Or you can always email me, which I answer more slowly, but I also welcome through SheenaMetalSpiritual.com. And don't forget to follow me everywhere on social media @Sheena Metal. And even my cat has an Instagram, at Cullen the Cat Official. He's not here because we don't need him crawling up in my arms the whole time or knocking over the camera with his little hard head. But he'll be here on my live broadcast, my social media broadcast later today. Awesome and honored to be here on the Intuitive Network. Let's take a message from Spirit. Hi.
Hi,
How are you, my friend? Who are you and where are you calling from?
I'm good. I'm Julie. I'm from London, Kentucky. How are you?
Beautiful. Beautiful. Where in Kentucky is London?
Um, it's about an hour, maybe hour and 15, a little bit further from Louisville. Not too far from either one of them, honestly.
That's where my family's from, Louisville. So
Yeah, that's
I
awesome.
was born there. That's awesome. What's your question for me today, sweetheart?
Well, mine kind of like ties into what you brought up as well because I'll be 29 this month, and my whole 29 years of life, I've dealt with nothing but narcissism my whole life, and it's absolutely insane. So, but my issue is, when is it my time to finally be loved instead of giving out on my love? Because I've been practicing that self-love. I finally got my appetite back, and I'm doing better, and I'm doing all this sleeping because it's all I can do now is sleep. But that, and then, like money-wise, like when is money and love both going to start looking up for me?
Sure. Well, I think a lot of your life, sweetie, has been really getting in touch with the fact that you're an empath. I mean, I think that empaths are kind of thrust into this world. We're sort of like little kids that are born like with their heart outside their body, except
yeah.
they get a surgery right away. We're so open and we're ill prepared for everything that the world brings us, and that's hard. So it takes a while to get used to it. And I think if you're getting it nailed at 29, you're like above the game. Also, remember that there's a panic that comes with turning 30, which is so funny because your whole 29th year, you go through this panic. And then the day you turn 30, you're like, it's just another day. And I don't care at all. But the lead up to it is like, and I think a lot of times people's 29th years are terrible. Mine was awful. But then as soon as I turned 30, I was like, I don't get it. So really for you with love, it's that your two-part question is really a one-part question, because really for you with love, the giving too much is the problem. And again, in a perfect world, like I talked about at the beginning of the show, giving too much would be a good thing. Give a lot and a lot comes back. But the problem is that you've encountered people that don't know how to love back. So you're giving so much, they don't know how to give. Then it becomes overwhelming for them. Then they feel like, well, wait a minute, she's giving so much and I'm not giving enough. And now I feel bad. And now I'm upset. And then it turns into eventually a split and they disappear. You can't make people be more than they are. But what you can do, like I was saying to Marlena, is you can love yourself, Julie, so much that you attract that energy. Because what you need is to be with somebody who's more highly evolved, who's done the spiritual work, and who is really, Spirit is saying, well seated within themselves. Somebody who really feels good inside their skin, and they'll just love all of your love, and it will be such a beautiful thing. But somebody who doesn't know who they are, or somebody who's just trying to figure it out but hasn't figured it out yet, they're going to be so overwhelmed by you knowing exactly who and what you want that becomes very intimidating. For people who are well seated inside themselves, we're like, yay, somebody who knows what they want. I love that. But for somebody who doesn't know who they are and doesn't know who they want, that becomes a very scary thing. Now, about finances, what I'm really seeing about finances is that as you get this love thing under control, you will release the barrier on the finances. That basically the finances are not coming because they're all tied up in these bad feelings that you have about yourself that aren't even your feelings, sweetie. They're coming from people who are too insecure and unevolved to understand you anyhow. And then they make you feel like you did it, because that's what people do. And then you get this image of yourself like, I can't do anything. I can't make anything work. I can't do anything right. And then the finances don't come because you're not in that place of, I'm here. I belong here. I want to have a happy life. I want love. I want prosperity. I want happiness. I want good health. So you just need to work to heal to get to that place, sweetie. And right now, under this full moon, what a fantastic time to do some work. So tonight and tomorrow, while we're still in the full moon, I want you to just have a little love fest with yourself. Sit down and tell yourself how much you love yourself and all the good things about yourself. And if you were looking to date somebody, all the things that you love about you, like reasons you would date you and reasons you would give you better financial status, and really kind of just spend some good time loving you and let the moon do its work. All right, sweetie?
It sounds good. It's funny you said that because I just started my full moon ritual with my moon water last night, pulled all my jewelry out last night. So I've got some more to do tonight. So
you're awesome. Next year's going to be better too. Okay. It's going to be okay. We're getting there. You're getting there. You're doing so great. I'm so proud of you.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you.
Take care, sweetheart. That is exactly what I'm talking about. Look at that. And I understand. I remember being 29. What was that? 3 or 4 years ago. No, it was awful. My 29th year was a nail biter, because you keep expecting that if you don't hit certain milestones by certain times, it's all over. But the honest truth is it's not over. The honest truth is that your life just gets better as you get older. You don't hit a certain place. People say, I remember when I was in my 20s and it was my best time. Well, then you haven't done a lot of good work in your life in the last however many decades, because everything is supposed to get better the more time you spend here, so that when you're about to pass at 80 something years old, you can say, man, everything in my life rocked. And then boop, you kick off and go home. That's how it's supposed to be. Not always how it is, but how it should be. Let's give somebody else a message from Spirit. Great calls so far. You're awesome. If you want to be on the show, 818-437-0886. Send me a text message. I'm excited to see who we have next.
Sheena!
Hi. How are you, sweetheart?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
I'm wonderful. Who are you and where are you coming in from?
So I am Joy. I'm calling from my new place of residence, hopefully, Lambertville, New Jersey.
Beautiful.
Yeah, I'm so excited. I've been following you for so long.
I'm so glad. Is it called Lavenderville where you're from?
Oh, I wish that would be so cool. No, it's called Lambertville.
Oh, I'm like, it's got lavender in it. I was so excited for a minute. Okay, great. The energy feels really good there for you. I'm happy that you're there now.
So am I.
What's your question for me, sweetie?
So it was hard for me to pick one. My questions mostly, I'm sure that's for everybody, but my question is mostly focused on purpose.
Okay.
I'm resonating with literally every single reading so far with the narcissism, being an empath, and I'm still trying to find my place. I've had a lot of catastrophic things that have happened this year, a lot of trauma.
Sure.
So like you said, I've gotten pretty much everything taken from me in order to force me to heal.
And to
so I've been working really hard. I'm in a lot of therapy. I'm trying my best. But I'm still trying to figure out what my actual purpose is. Like, what is my purpose in this world, to the people around me, to other people in general, to the person that's come back into my life that I feel we have purpose together too. Like, just purpose. What are the purposes here?
Right. Well, every healer, Joy, and you are definitely a healer.
Yes.
Every healer has to endure all the bad stuff, because you need to have felt that pain in order to heal the pain of others. So when you're going through a place where you feel like, wow, this is awful, remember, it's training for something better. It's because you need to know how to handle that situation. I was watching a show last night, and part of the show was this guy in astronaut training, and they were doing like these torturous things to him, like isolation and loud music and spinning and throwing him in the water. And I'm like, this is terrible. But it's because they're trying to figure out who can go to space and be able to handle anything that could happen. So when you're a healer, you don't know who's going to come to you, Joy, and what they're going to come with and what they're going to need. So unfortunately, spirit takes part of our lives and puts us through a kind of boot camp to prepare us to be healers. Is it fair? Well, it's something we definitely contracted for before we came. We knew we were coming here to be healers. So even though we might be like, now, we were good with spirit and good with it at the time. So you have to remember, it's just a training exercise. It's just a training exercise. It's just a training exercise. It's making me stronger. And also remember something my mom used to say, that every bad thing that happened to her along the way didn't only make her stronger, it made her softer.
That I feel
so the idea is not just to toughen you up, it's also to make you more gentle. Because
it's definitely doing that.
Right? Because when you're healing people in crisis, they need you to be loving and gentle with them as you help them along the way. And I think you're going to wind up in some capacity a true healer, and you're going to love your life, and it's going to be such a beautiful thing for you. And I think your baby is a healer as well. And
I believe so too.
And you're just going to be healing people. I mean,
we are both going through a lot of trauma and being forced to break conditioning and all kinds of things, generational trauma.
Right. Yeah. And it's going to make her so much tougher.
Yeah.
And stronger and softer. So I think you're in good shape, sweetie, and you're super beautiful energy. You keep doing what you're doing, and consider this move a reset and a fresh start, and start thinking about what kind of healing you want to do.
It's tough.
All right, you take care.
But yes, I'm trying.
You so much love.
Thank you so much.
Take care, honey.
Same to you. Have a great one.
My pleasure. What beautiful callers today. And everybody sort of rising from the ashes like the phoenix, which interesting was what I talked a little bit about at the beginning of the show. Now, for those of you tuning in for the first time, and I don't know if I say this every show, but I'm sure my engineer producer Emery is going to tell me I need to start saying this every show. I don't know anything anybody's going to ask me. I don't have any idea what questions are going to come. I know who's going to be on the show, and I know where they're from, but that's all I know. When they'll say to me, "Can I run my question by you?" I say, no, don't, no. I don't want to know. The other thing is, I never know what I'm going to talk about at the beginning until literally the intro is playing and Spirit says, "Today you're talking about that meme you saw." But it's interesting how I've noticed on the show the last couple of months that it seems like the calls fall into whatever I talked about at the beginning. I don't know how that's working, but Spirit works in mysterious ways, and everything works the way it's supposed to work. So I, like all things in life, I just ride the wave. I grew up in a surf town. I just ride the wave and go with it. So with that, let's have another message from Spirit. I can barely hear you, sweetheart. Still kind of barely hear you. Do you have headphones maybe that you can plug in? It happens sometimes. Oh, wait. Are you there?
How about that? Is that better?
Oh, it's fantastic.
Okay.
You look like Julie, the Time Life operator when I was a kid. If anybody's old enough to remember the Time Life commercials. I feel like you're going to sell me an album with songs from the 70s, and I'm very excited. Where are you calling from, sweetie? What's your name, and how may I help you?
I'm Patricia, and I'm from Largo, Florida.
Beautiful. What's your question, sweetie?
My question is my career.
Okay.
I want to know if I'm going to stay where I'm at, or I'm going to move forward to another company.
I think you're going to stay where you're at least until the end of the year. But I feel a shift and a move for you in 2024, and not just to another company, but also the job requirements for this job are going to take you sort of into a new realm that you haven't. They're going to be new job requirements, new things in your job that are going to expand what you do career-wise, and really grow your knowledge and your expertise on things, because then multiple years farther down the line, there's going to be another shift into a thing that's almost completely different from what you do now.
Wow.
Maybe in the same industry, but very different. It's going to come from the growth of this next job. But Spirit is saying definitely stay where you are right now. Stay right where you are right now, and just let it Let just ride
Okay.
it through, but in the back of your mind, keep looking for jobs that appeal to you, and not to be scared if it turns out you're like, oh my God, can I do that? That has a bunch of stuff I haven't done before. That's okay. That's the point. That's what's
Okay.
happening.
Okay, that sounds good because I just passed my board exam, so I was wanting to see if I was going to stay here or move forward.
You're going to stay for now, but the move is coming, and it's going to be a big one, and I'm so excited for you, sweetie.
Okay, thank you so much.
Congrats on passing your board. Thanks for
Thank
the
you.
call.
All right, bye-bye.
I call it a call, but what is it really? It's not really a call, is it? It's like a video. Is it a video, a voice call? Is it is it an insert? Is it like a cameo? I don't know. I don't know what to call it. For me, I've spent so many years, in a couple of days. August 6th is going to be my 29-year radio anniversary in Los Angeles. I currently do 2 shows for iHeartRadio. I'm starting a 3rd in a little while. And I also do a video talk show for another network. So I don't know what to call things when they're not radio. I'm learning as I'm becoming more of a television host and less of a radio host, or just as much of a television host. I'm just figuring it out, my friends. Let's take a message from Spirit. Hello.
Hello.
How are you, sir?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm good. Why don't you let everybody know your name and where you're calling from?
My name is Paul Jasek, and I'm in Long Beach, California.
Beautiful. You could literally walk over here right now to my house. You
I
could
would
have sat
have
right
to.
here. We could have squeezed you in. Hi, I'm Paul. What's your question for me, darling? It's so beautiful to have you here.
Well, thank you very much. I have a question about my car. Do you have any impressions about my car?
Okay, this is the car this is not a new car.
No.
Okay, this is a much loved car.
Yes, it is.
And it has such sentimental value.
Yes, it does.
But yet it also is getting elderly, and it has problems.
Personality, for sure.
Yeah, it's like I like personality. It's like being in love with an elderly person who's cantankerous.
A bit. Mm-hmm.
I think that you should continue to love the car, and I think you should continue to work on the personality stuff and keep it. I don't think you're emotionally ready to let it go.
I would agree. I would agree with you. It was stolen yesterday.
Oh, what? Oh, goodness. All right. Okay, I saw problems. I didn't see that. I see that it's coming back. But
I sort of think so too, but I'll tell you, it's such an odd feeling.
wow. You know what? Spirit, I guess, wow. Sometimes you get gobsmacked. I don't feel like it's going to be away from you forever. But I do think it's going to come back with even more personality, and it might emotionally be the time for you to consider letting it go. I know that I just keep feeling this emotional bond, and I kept feeling kind of like almost hurt around that bond. Now I know why, but I don't think it will be long until it's returned. But it feels like it's going to be returned in having been abused a little bit.
I understand that.
And that might just be too much for you to take on emotionally and financially.
Mm-hmm. I understand.
It was stolen by somebody who has been watching it.
Interesting.
Somebody has been looking for cars in the area to take and keeping an eye on it. Have you thought about posting about it on like the Nextdoor app?
I was holding this kind of in a quiet place because I do know getting around the panic and the upset and the things that are in the car. It's one of those, I'll go back to the car and get it. Well, it's filled with a lot of things that I need.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I've spent I did all the police report and all of the things that one does yesterday. And then I found that and I never get migraine headaches, but I did yesterday. And I thought it's time to just keep this a little quiet. This is the first time I've spoken about it publicly.
Yeah. Did the car belong to a family member?
It belonged to my mother.
Okay. I just feel such a bond with you in this car.
And it's 30 years old. I'm amazed anyone would. But
they were just looking for something easy to take, but it's somebody's just like driving it around. That's why I'm saying, I know you want to keep it quiet, but I think if you post on something like the Nextdoor app,
Okay.
and just say, hey, this is my car. I loved her. She's 30 years old. She was my mom's. Has
Mhm.
anybody seen her? There's a lot of like amateur Gladys Kravitz from Bewitched there. It's really a haven of Karens. And if somebody will start keeping an eye out for it, you know,
I can do that.
see it getting returned, but I don't know how much of the stuff inside will be there.
Sure.
But she will come back to you. And then she'll need extra love, or she'll need to be put to sleep. And that'll be your decision at the time.
Indeed.
I'm so sorry, my friend. We're all going to send you so much love.
Thank you, Sheena. I'm a big fan. Thanks so much.
Oh, and me of you. Thank you, sweetheart. My heart hurts for you. It's terrible. I had my purse stolen once in my neighborhood, and I live in a gated community. My house up in the valley is in a gated community. And I literally put the purse on my hood, went into the house, came back, and it was gone. And I had just come back from working a music gig. It had so much cash in it. I never have cash. I never carry cash. I have like maybe, $20 in cash in my purse. It had thousands of dollars in cash because I had just gotten paid. And of course, that's the one time in my life my purse has been stolen when it actually had money in it, right? The hardest thing for me was there was a tiny little picture in my wallet of my first cat, the first picture I ever took of her, and a tiny little picture of my last dog who had recently died. Was my mom's dog, but I grew up with her. And I just couldn't believe that somebody had taken that little picture of Aaron and that little picture of Amanda. And long after I made peace with the fact that the 5,000 something dollars was gone, I could, to this day, I get upset when I think about those cute little pictures. And I won't keep anybody's pictures in my wallet now. I'm like, I'm done with that. It's not good. But yeah, it's so hard. I can't believe that she was stolen. I know she's coming back because Spirit did not show me a separation. I thought maybe she was in the shop. That's the kind of separation they showed. So I don't think it's going to be long, Paul, but we're all sending you some love, okay? Wow. Okay, I would love another message from Spirit. Hi.
Hi, how are you, Sheena?
I'm good. How are you, sweetheart?
I'm doing okay.
Okay. How are you? Where are you from?
My name's Darlene, and I'm from Albrightsville, Pennsylvania.
Beautiful.
And it's so nice to be on your show. I was really excited.
It's wonderful to have you here. I love your mid-Atlantic region accent. It reminds me of living in Baltimore as a child.
My question is about my son who
Okay.
took his life in 2018.
Honey, I'm so sorry. Yeah.
And like 2 weeks ago, outside of in my backyard, I have cameras, and my son was seen on my porch by the door on the camera. Also in the window, it seemed like there was St. Padre Pio. That's what I thought it looked like anyway, standing there. As Bobby, my son, also seemed to be staring at a big bright light on the porch. Do you think like he might be trying to tell me something? I was saying to him in a prayer, I just wanted to see him in my dreams.
Yeah, and that's what it is, sweetie. He wants you to know he's here. He knows that you worry a lot about whether or not he's around. And he wanted to show you some proof. And he thought, because of all the paranormal shows with the caught on camera, he thought if you saw him on the camera, you would believe that it was real.
And I do. And I do watch those shows.
Right. Yeah, he told me.
It's very interesting,
Yeah.
Yeah, I always felt him around me, and since he passed, and also my sister, I've always had her in my heart,
Did you ever think when you were watching Paranormal Caught on Camera that one day you would see him on a camera the exact same way? That's why he did it. It was part so that you would believe, because you believe in the stuff you see on that show. And it was part that he thought it was funny. That suddenly he was the paranormal caught on camera. He also has a very strong connection to St. Pio, Padre Pio at home.
Yes.
Which is what I call heaven. People call it heaven. I call it home. He has a very strong connection to Padre Pio. So he thought you seeing that too would be another reminder that it was truly him. Because his whole concern this time is that he would show himself to you, or that he's been showing himself to you with signs, and you're just not believing it's him. You just want more proof, more proof, more proof. And now we know you prayed for him to come, and he came, right? So he showed you the sign. So he wants you to know that those two instances in which you saw him, that's like 1/1000th of how much he's around. So now you just know he's everywhere, sweetie. He's in every room of your house at different times. He goes everywhere with you when he can. The dog sees him. He's around all the time, and he did that. And it took a lot for him to manifest that much energy for you to see like a full body him.
Yes.
So he wants you to just believe he's there, know he's there, and then take the comfort from that you so desire, to get that comfort from him.
And, it was his birthday that Monday. So that happened on a Saturday night when we were out. And then Sunday, I look at my blank because I have bears and deer and all kinds of stuff in the yard. And I always like to see all that because it's so cool. And he was what I caught. I couldn't believe it.
It's beautiful. It's beautiful. Yeah, it's wonderful, sweetie. Believe. That's what he wants you to do. He wants you to keep faith, have hope, and believe. All right?
I do. Thank you.
All right. You bet, sweetheart. Thank you for being here.
I love you. Thanks.
I love you too, sweetie. You take care. Beautiful
too.
story. Thank you, darling.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
That's what we got. That's it, folks. That's what it's all about. It's all about believing. It's all about loving. It's about believing. And our loved ones, if we're not believing, they will do things to make us believe. They're not playing. So that was beautiful that he did that. And like the shows she watches. Is that hysterical? Spirits are hysterical. They're fantastic. All right, let's take another message from Spirit. Great people today. Remember, if you want to be a guest on the show, get in touch with me. Text me 818-437-0886. That's 818-437-0886. And find me on social media at Sheena Metal everywhere. And that's Facebook, it's TikTok, it's Instagram, it's Twitter. I guess Twitter's now called X. It's Facebook. Soon we're going to be more places, so many places, even more places. And I want to take a big shout out to my right-hand man, my engineer, producer, Emery, who's so fantastic. I couldn't do this without him. And then, of course, my producer at Intuitive Network, Adam, who's wonderful, and the owner of the station, Michael, who's given us this opportunity and is great. My three musketeers, I couldn't do it without you boys, and I appreciate it. Let's do another message from Spirit. Hi.
Hey, Sheena.
Where are you calling from, sweetie? Who are you, and how may I help you, darling?
My name's Todd Williford. I'm calling from Royce City, Texas.
Beautiful, my friend. And what's your question for me today?
Lately I've been in the hospital a lot because I'm having to have a heart transplant.
Sure.
And I have a feeling that I have a spirit that keeps visiting me every time I've been hospitalized.
Yeah.
My wife and I both have seen it come in the door as a mist. Also, it turns the lights on and off in the bathrooms when I'm in there.
Yeah.
And the last time I was there, it's when I was by myself that, it got hard at that point. And it's like I felt somebody walk up behind me and just hug me from behind.
Yeah.
Do you know who it is? I have a feeling I know who it is, but I'm not sure.
Do you have a family member that also had problems with heart?
Yeah, I do, but they didn't pass away from it or anything.
But that's who it is. It's somebody who's giving you the encouragement that it will get better, that you're going to get your heart, that you shouldn't be scared, that everything's going to be okay, and that they're there just providing a constant back hug for you, to really let you know they're supporting you. They're holding you up.
Okay, because it just kind of surprises me because come to think about it, it's I believe it's my grandmother, and
Yes.
she passed away from a heart attack. Thinking of it, she
Yes.
had Alzheimer's, but it was actually a heart attack. My wife just said,
Yeah.
reminded me. She goes, it was a heart attack that got her. But
Yeah.
yeah, it just I've seen it all my life, but to see I couldn't see this person. Like I see my dog run around my house that visits us. I see other people, but I couldn't see her for some reason.
Yeah. She's saying that that you have a tremendous amount of fear around this heart transplant, and
Oh yeah.
she wants you to let the fear go, Todd. She wants you to let it go. Believe you're going to get it. Know that your hand is always in the hand of spirit. That God is always holding your hand and is guiding you through this process, and you're going to be okay.
Well, thank you very much. That makes me feel a lot better.
I'm so glad, sweetie. And we're all here and we're all praying for you. All right. And I'm sending you so much love and so much healing light till you get that heart.
Thank you.
Take care, sweetheart. Thank you so much.
Bye-bye.
Bye, honey. Let's all, if you're out watching right now, let's all say some prayers for Todd, who's waiting to get that heart. Okay? All right. I think we have time for one more. Let's get a message from Spirit to someone. Hi.
Hi, Sheena.
How are you?
Busy?
Who are you and where are you coming in from, sweetie?
My name is Cassie. I am from Milton, Wisconsin.
Beautiful.
I'm sure here in a second, all 4 of my little ones will join us too.
Oh, good. Okay, that's okay. Little ones are welcome. I would have my little one here, except all you'd see in the screen is a cat head. So that's probably not good television. What's your question for me today, sweetie?
My question is regarding this woman and what her intentions are towards my husband, towards me, towards my kids. Like, just why?
Yeah.
What is ultimately her plan, and why does she keep interfering and interjecting into?
First of all, she's nasty. Is it okay to say she's nasty?
Yeah. I've asked you about her a couple of times now, but it's come to the point where I'm like, just what are her intentions? Because I can't do this anymore.
I don't want to ever call anybody a nasty woman, but she's a bad soul. She's a bad egg. She's kind of like, her kink is sort of destroying things. So it makes her feel powerful to know that she's come into your life, swooped up your husband, trying to swoop up your kids, and just take it all so she can say she has it. But when she's got it, then she's not going to want it anymore. Because the minute she's got it, then she's going to be like peeping around for who else she can swipe up and do it again. It is what fills the black hole of self-loathing that is like a huge part of her chest cavity. It's like where her little walnut heart should be, is this giant black hole, and it has to always be filled. And that kind of attention, the sexual attention, the physical attention, the verbal attention, feeling like she looks at you and she's like, oh, she sees how beautiful you are. And she's like, wow, well, if I could steal a husband from her, then I must really be somebody. And it's just her trying to like self-validate her ugliness. She will go as far as she goes. I mean, her intention is to take it all, but it's not going to last, because as soon as she thinks that that's what your husband wants, she'll move on to somebody else, because it won't be a challenge anymore. So, I mean, if you really want him back, and, that's something you have to think about down the road, just let him have her. Let him have her. And when she gets bored, he'll come crying back. And then you got to decide what you want to do then, because at that point, you got to be like, wow, do I want to take this guy back after this? And I think at this point you do. But be prepared for the fact that at that point you might say you don't want to, and that's okay.
All right. Yeah.
And give yourself, you've done nothing.
Yeah, nothing has happened yet, but I'm like, she just keeps like, trying to sneak in here, trying to sneak in there, and I'm like,
little whispers and little comments, and and just don't, you know what I mean? I mean, just keep communicating with your husband, because he has the ability to say no to her. He just needs to do it.
kind of been feeling that too. Like he's afraid to,
Yeah.
because he's already lost a lot of people. I think he just doesn't want to lose one more, which is why he lets her keep doing
Right.
the sneakiness, even though I keep pointing it out to him.
Yeah.
And
he's
yeah.
glamored by her. You know, he's glamored by her the way that a vampire glamours somebody in a movie. Like he's completely brainwashed. If you tried to convince him now she was a bad person, he would never believe it. And if he tells you he believes it, he's lying. Because he believes all of her BS because she's very good at what she does. But her game is just to take, it's not to keep. She just likes the conquest.
Okay.
But she's got problems.
Kind of making everybody as miserable as she is.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
And to try to make herself less miserable. So I'm going to send you so much love, sweetie. You take care of you.
Thank you.
I know this is hard and my heart is with you.
Yeah, like I said, I've asked a couple different times when spirits pick me on the Facebook Live, so it's still kind of weighing heavy on everything. So.
Yeah, Spirit thinks he's a damn fool if he does anything to stray from you because you're wonderful.
Well, thank you.
Take care, sweetheart. I appreciate you.
Thanks. I appreciate you.
Take care, sweetheart.
Bye.
And there's the babies. Yay. I love the babies. I wish all the babies and the puppies and the kitties were on every single show. And I would love to have mine in here. But people don't need to see the tail crossing. Then there's the showing of the butt. We don't need to see that. Then there's sometimes I can hold him up and he's real cute. You get to see him because he's darling. But then what he really wants to do is he wants to be like right here. So his heart's on my heart. And then he just wants me to bounce him. So you just see the back of a cat head and the whole thing looks like this. And it's, it's a lot. It's a lot. It's like nursing in public for an hour. But we'll bring him on the show at some time and let you see him because he's often cute. And you can find him on Instagram at Cullen the Cat Official. And you can also find him at cullenthecat.com. Wow, what a great show. Seriously, if you want to be a guest, send me a text message, 818-437-0886, or just to be in touch or to inquire about a private session or all the other wonderful things I have going on. You can see at my website, sheenametalspiritual.com. And please find me on social media everywhere at Sheena Metal. And thank you for watching live. Thank you for downloading the Intuitive Network app. We're only on the Intuitive Network every Wednesday at 2:00 Pacific time for an hour. We pretty much take eight callers every show. It's always a different show. It's always real people. It's always real questions. It's always real psychic answers. And hopefully for everybody today, they got a little bit of healing. Till I see you next Wednesday at 2:00 Pacific time, seek peace, live in love, lead with kindness, embrace unity, always work to raise your vibration and the vibration of the everything. And remember, most importantly, that you are love and you are loved and you're loved by me. I'm Sheena Metal. This is Messages from Spirit, only on the Intuitive Network every Wednesday at 2:00 Pacific time. And you know what? I'll see you next week. You take care of you. Love yourself.